Good evening. Welcome to Sissy's Cards and Crafts. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry about my squeaky chair. One day I'll get a new chair or a chair that doesn't squeak. Well, hi. It is February 22nd. Oh my goodness. Just a few days left of February. Oh, to continue on. Hi, I'm welcome to Sissy's Cards and Crafts. I am Sissy, and this is my craft room here in Eastern Ontario, Canada. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I enjoy making crafts of all sorts. So this is just such a passion of mine. So back to February. It is coming to a close very quickly, and I just want to remind you of this exclusive offer to join Stampin' Up! So first off, to join Stampin' Up!, you do not have to sell product. Basically, what you need to do is agree to kind of share what you love. So share. That means make stuff and then share it. So Stampin' Up! Has great product. And to become a demonstrator, you have to go through the catalog, and we have what we call a mini catalog, which isn't all that mini. This is the one until April. Then we also have our regular catalog. Again, not so many, a lot of stuff in there. And then there's online exclusives as well as stuff that's retiring. And so they're on sale. You can purchase any of that for, if you pay, I had to write it down here because I keep forgetting, you pick out $165 worth of product, anything you want, and as long as you do not go over $165 before taxes, all you pay is $135. You do have to pay the provincial taxes that within your province, but there is no delivery fee for the starter kit. So a starter kit basically being anything you want. So you can do that and become a hobby demonstrator, what we call a hobby demonstrator, and really you can do that. I think this lasts for 6 months, I believe. And then if you don't want to do it, you let it lapse and that's it. You're done. But if you do want to continue on, you enjoy the product, then there is a quarterly minimum you have to make. I believe that's around $300. Please don't hold me to that. It might be a little bit more. There's a little bit of confusion in there because they list it as CVCs or CVSs, and that it really is equivalent to Canadian or American dollars. Anyway, contact me if you have any questions, or feel free to message Stampin' Up! Directly if you have any questions with the starter kit. But it really is a great deal. And this month, back to the whole February thing, the exclusive for joining in February is that they have this, you get this free Stampin' Positioner. So it is free. It is, I believe, around a $65 value that you get free. No questions asked. Just sign up. Even if you let that lapse, it is yours to keep. And this is a great little thing to have. I went ahead and purchased it for a few different reasons. And basically what it comes with is your base, and it's magnetic. And there's foam on the back that keeps it from slipping and also gives it a good base to stamp on. You have your magnets, very strong magnets that come in a case. A lot of stamping positioners, these magnets get broke and they're hard to manage, so these actually come in a case. Then you get the top plate, and that just sits on here. So there's these holes at the top, and then at the bottom is like a spring. It's 2 spring feet, and this also is a spring here at the top. So you set these on, then you push down, and you can pick up your stamp if you have your stamp there. Lift it up, your paper is here on this base, held on with your magnets, and then you can stamp it. If it didn't stamp properly, you re-ink your stamp, you put it back on, you stamp it again, and you're bang in the same position. I've done a couple little videos on this. It's really, really helpful. There's other things you can do with it. It's great for if you want to do a bunch of cards, the same cards, that you can do it the same, like just set up and do it in batches. And then it also comes with this smaller plate for if you have a smaller stamp you want to just use. But they hook on these pegs at the top. So you can see there's all these pegs. And then if I want to kind of layer a word down, the same word, you can do that and it will be evenly spaced. You can just continually go. You can change your color, whatever you want, any time. So that works well. There's so many different things you can do with this. I just think it's amazing. I quite like it. And then in addition to the positioner, you can purchase, you have to purchase this, and I believe it's $24 for this pad of grid paper that goes on there. I've only used one, right? It's just so you can stamp off. It's inches on one side, centimeters on the other. Great little grid paper, scratch paper to have. This just is the instruction manual for that. So free. You don't get this. I got to reiterate, you do not get the grid paper, but that could be part of what you order for $135. So that's great. Also, I want to mention that we're in the process as demonstrators. You get access to the products that they're about to launch a month before they launch. So this month, let me backtrack again. March 2nd, I believe, they are launching some new products. So like every couple months, new products come out. And then, of course, the new catalog is going to come out in May. So as demonstrators, you have access to those products early. And even as a hobby demonstrator, you have access to those products early. So if you were to purchase this now in February and become a demonstrator, you could have early access to some of the new stuff out there. And just an example, I have a couple of them here. Sorry, I've been doing quite a bit of stamping today, so I don't, everything's just kind of jumbled. So some of the early stuff. One is Prayers and Promises sentiment set. It's really awesome. So that was good. Then I had, and I'll do a video on the Sweet Bugs set. So there's the stamps, the dies, and then it comes, so you can get those individually. You can buy them as a bundle. They're I believe 15% off when you buy them as a bundle, 10 or 15%. And then they have sweets. And so with the sweet came those plus some ribbon. This was the ribbon that came with it. And then there was some gems. I had the gems here. I don't know. I moved them. Oh, they're right here. So little ladybug gems. And then these are just clear dies. So they're called Ladybug Garden Epoxy Shapes. So then there's just these clear ones that kind of look like dewdrops. So there was those plus the paper and the dies that came with that set. Then there was this one, and it is Creative Haven dies. There's the dies and the stamps. I had one here. Oh, I've got this here that I did up. So I used my Stampin' Positioner for this because I utilized the clear embossing. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a bit of a sheen to it. And it's raised, so it's heat embossed. but I used the Darling Duckling ink and then embossed it with clear. And I was able to do that with my Stampin' Positioner because it's really difficult to stamp in your ink, and even with the photopolymer, the clear stamps, to get right on the exact same spot to then have your embossing powder fall in the same spot. So this was one of my examples that I did, and I got this out of this Creative Havens set. It also was part of a suite, and it came with, I believe it was these gems, earthy matte dots, and also came with this ribbon and a bunch of papers. So I also will do some videos on that. I have a couple ideas for these that I've been trying out. And then this one, I'm just really enjoying, this Delicate Whispers. It's so, so beautiful. These lovely delicate florals, wispy sort of flat florals. The paper is incredible. Just to give you an idea, I did this card. So this is some of the designer series paper, and you can see there's like a copper dye to, or foiling to it. I stamped and used blends for that stamp on the front. And then this ribbon is a retired ribbon. It's no longer available, but I just thought it looked perfect with this. And so this is some of the DSP. This was the stamp. Those were the dies. This was the stamp from the first set that I showed, as well as this one. And I just thought that was just gorgeous. Like, this paper here is my absolute favorite. I think that's gorgeous. So that was kind of a get well card that I have made for my mother-in-law. So hopefully she's not watching and seeing it before she gets it. Oh, and then this one I did, and I've shown this one before, and I will do this. This is kind of my next video that I want to do, is with the Sweet Bugs. I don't know, I can't remember that. And their designer series paper. And then, of course, some of the sentiments. I believe that is the sentiments from that. So that was fun. Yeah. Nope, not the back one. It was a different set. I got that back sentiment from. Anyway, that's good. Tonight I wanted to do the paper pumpkin. So here is our paper pumpkin. So why I'm trying to get into this, I think I will explain to my followers the sissy name. I have two sisters. I adore them sweetly. They are younger than I am, 6 and 7 years younger than I am, and they always called me Sissy. Mom said that was my idea, that I wanted them to call me Sissy, and I do love it. I love it so much that I really I couldn't handle my nieces and nephews calling me by my actual name, so they call me Aunt Sissy, and I love that. That just makes me happy. But in my day-to-day job, my name's used a lot in the public. And if somebody was to kind of Google my real name, they might kind of come up with some other things that right now I think I'd like to keep my two worlds separate. So my home name, other than Mom, is Sissy. And so that's kind of where I'd like to go, and let my actual name just take a break for a while, especially now that I'm looking at slowing that down and going in a different path, new things in my new adventures in my future. So Paper Pumpkin, again, as I say every month, this is a monthly subscription. I don't know, nobody knows what comes in these until you get them. So I really kind of have no idea what's in here. And then you every month get another one. You can pay month by month. You can pay by quarter, or 6 months, or I believe even a year. So it is great. It's a great way to get your hands on stamps. And if you want, you can, every quarter they release added stamps and dies for the 3 sets that are in that quarter. So you can do that. They now allow you to buy extra stuff that is in this if you are a subscriber. So if you subscribe, I can go in and I can buy basically this kit again, minus the stamps and ink, to make more stamps if I want. So they come with your stamps. They come with, your first one comes with a block, an acrylic block to put your stamps on. And then that's it. You get one and then, hold on to it because you won't get another one. Now, like I said, this is a subscription. Don't know, but you will know if you look in the online catalog that there are kits, and the kits are always the same. You know what you're getting. They always come with a block. You can order as many as you want, but they are consistent. They do change them up every once in a while. They're always adding new ones. There's quite a few available, and they're quite nice. They're really, really, some of them are just gorgeous. I mean, they're all nice, but there's just some that's over the top amazing in my mind. So back to this. Stamps, ink spots. These are the little Stampin' Spots. So they're just small little ink. Same ink, work really well. And it's, again, a good way to figure out the quality of the product that Stampin' Up! Has. So this is Shy Shamrock. This was last year's in color. Every year they come out with 4 new colors that are deemed the in colors, and they're the in colors for 2 years. So this was last year's. I have the full pad, so I'm not going to bother opening that one up. I'm just going to kind of tuck that aside. They're great for when you're traveling or gifting, whatever you want. And I always say this, I love opening this up. This is like getting a present every month. It's all wrapped up and nice to go. And this looks like it's going to be an Eastery. Yes. Now, I did hear that this was coordinating with one of the new products that's there for new online product, and I have seen a lot of demonstrators do this Easter basket one. I'm not sure exactly what the name of it is, but I've seen multiple demonstrators do a similar, or do cards with that, and it looks very similar to this. I apologize. So my other job is teaching. I won't get into what I teach right now, but it was a long week. I just struggling with the psoriatic arthritis in my knees, and I was tired, and my voice just seemed to be struggling to hold on. So I got a little bit of a crackle in my voice, but starting to feel like I'm getting past it. Just end of the day and that crackle. Okay. So here's the instructions here. And then this little sheet actually shows us what our stamps are. So this is really helpful, one, because I can show you what these stamps are. You can't really see what they are here, but basically that's what they are. So Sweet Spring Greetings, that's all one stamp. Hello Friend, Happy Easter, we have some grass and some eggs. There is a thing called stamp surgery if you wanted to cut that greetings off and just have Sweet Spring, or greetings Easter. If you like, you can cut them. They do cut. I don't particularly care for doing it that much, but here is what I was talking about. You can get these, and this is good for like 3 months. So this is the 3rd month. We had in February this, or January rather, this stamp, because we did like a, for Valentine's Day, they were like stamps. And then what was this beautiful? I'm trying to think of, well, maybe that's next month. Maybe I am ahead a month because this is for this month. So anyway, let's go ahead. Instructions always are in pictograph form, and I've shared every time, how my son finds these easy to do because you just follow the instructions. So let's see what we've got. You have your beautiful gems. Sometimes you don't get gems. Sometimes you get twine or string or ribbon. Sometimes you don't. It just totally depends on the whatever they've decided to do. You will get your adhesive. So here's some mini oh my goodness, Stampin' Dimensionals, and then mini glue dots here as well. So you never have to worry about your glue or your adhesive, but you do have to have scissors for these. So here's some gems, and these were in the catalog probably about 2 or 3 years ago. So it's nice to see them refreshed a little bit. I always enjoyed them. You have your envelopes, and it's usually you get 9 cards, 3 of 3 different designs. So these all are the same envelope. This one is colored here. Sometimes they're all colored. Sometimes they're not colored, but a pattern paper. Sometimes it's pattern inside, but the envelopes always are quite nice. And then here is your card bases. So we have this one, which is quite nice. This goes with this. I guess we're using this. With this one is okay, this tells me what I need for 1, for 2, and for 3. So let's just see what we need for 1. I tell you, it's easy to follow, and then I get myself confused. Okay, so 1, we need our Stampin' Spot. We're going to need the Happy Easter. There's going to be a banner here that we'll need to put that on, and one of the eggs. And it even shows you where to place your Stampin' Dimensionals or your glue dots. So these little round gray are glue dots. Then your Stampin' Dimensionals are a little octagon, or what is 6 sides? Pentagon? No, not pentagon. Hexagon. Then we need this at the rabbit. So let's see what we've got here. So we're going to need that. We are going to need what card base? Well, the yellow card base. So you can see here is our banner that we're going to use for this one. And we're going to use 1 egg, it looks like. And then there's a yellow card base here, so that helps. And then we will have, I'm just going to put all this together. So our Happy Easter, then we're going to need the bunny. He's so cute. Oh, he's just so cute. I love his little face. And then this wreath of floral. And there's actually die cut inside the wreath, so I don't want to lose them when I punch this out. They're always very easy to punch out, but just, try to rub down those edges so you don't see that that was a punch there. So we're going to punch this whole center out. Okay. Bing, bang, boom. That is done for that right now. So here's our little egg. Let's do our stamping first. Oh my goodness. Okay. That goes on like that. Easter isn't far. And Easter, usually there's a birthday around about that time as well I need to manage. And there's just all sorts of things that life has at that point. Okay, happy Easter as well. Now, these are new stamps. And I always suggest you give them a clean. This lovely product I keep talking about, but it's this the Stampin' Scrub. It's two sides. It's kind of got a black fuzzy on it. And you could do it with water, but there's the Stampin' Mist. I like to take my stamps and just scrub them on the damp side, and then you come over here and scrub them on this dry side. And you'll notice I put them on one of my other blocks. This is the D block, very common block to use. And the reason I do that is because they're so much thicker. You can see that. And when I go to put my fingers on here to dip that into the ink, my little fingers don't get in the ink because they tend to do that. All right, so I'm going to take that off. I'm just going to set it on the other block, and then I am going to stamp. And the other thing I always like to do, get a scrap piece of paper and try my stamps first. I always do it when I stamp, but especially when they're new stamps. I just want to make sure that stamp is gonna be fine, because when they're created, there's a bit of an oil that's on them, and sometimes that oil doesn't quite come off with Stampin' Scrub, and sometimes it just doesn't give quite a clear stamp. So I just want to make sure that is all off, and I just keep a rag up here that I'm reaching to. So I think we're pretty good. Now I'm going to find my little egg that I had that I've already lost. Oh, there he is. There he is. And then I'm using our Glass Mat Studio. It works really, really well. It's a great stamping platform. It's a grid that I can use. If I do get ink on it, it wipes off like a charm. It has this lovely little divided tray that comes with it. So I can keep little pieces on there, and you can see I've got a couple little pieces on there already. And I didn't do the best job with that because I was talking as I was doing it, and I've kind of got it a little bit offset. So the thing with paper crafting, it's always fixable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my snips. I could cut, just do another one. They tend to give extra ones, but all I'm going to do is do what we kind of call fussy cutting, and I'm just going to cut that around to make it a little bit smaller. Sometimes I like to do this anyways, just because I find the edge sometimes is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be. So I'm just following the edge of the design and just trimming off that extra, because there, I can fix it and you would never know. Look at that. Easy peasy. All right, so I've got that done. I want to do my Happy Easter. So I will put my egg back up here. I stuck the Happy Easter on the other block. Now with these, they can bend. So I actually just like to put them down on the paper. I'm going to stamp them on. Let them resume the position they normally want, and they're not going to bend. And then just put your block on it. You'll notice I'm going to put the block angled because I want lots of edge all the way around. I don't want it to be right direct side to side. And I can hold my block on an angle. Not a big problem. I'm going to pull in my scrap paper here, get out this lovely and you'll notice this ink color is actually in our card as well. Everything coordinates. I mentioned the DSP or Designer Series paper that matches or corresponds with our different stamp sets we have. It corresponds. Even one side will look good with the other side. So it works really well. It's just amazing how it all just flows together. All right, now used it, so I'm going to clean it on my Stampin' Scrub here. And there we go. I like to close this between each time because I don't want to put my hand like that. All right. back. There we go. Now let's put this together. We'll look at our, oh, we've got to get our ribbon here. So it even tells me 7 inches or 17.8 centimeters. So I tend to find they go a little bit longer than they need to. And you know what? There's usually a little bit extra, so I want to maybe keep that for myself to do another card with. What I like to do with these, if I get these, is just cut them, and then that little end just fits in there, and I don't have to search for the end. So this is going to be a little bow. That's what that little tray is for, is putting all those things that are going to roll or get lost on. So there we go. Just going to tie my bow, make 2 little bunny ears. I'll do it again to show you. So I've got my ribbon. I'm just going to take 2 bunny ears and tie them like this. Trying to get my ends together. There we go. So a little bow. A little bow, and you can play around with it to make it the size you want, but we'll wait till we get it on. So here, this is going to go on my card. Did I not take out the card? I thought I did, but now I don't see it. So let's just grab another one. It's scored and everything, so I'm just going to fold it over. You know, make sure you are meeting those corners up because it's machine doing it. So it's easy enough to get it a little bit off center. Then take a bone folder. This is something that is a great addition to have because it gives me a nice crisp edge there. And then this is going to go on here, and it's saying that it goes on with the glue dots. I just prefer my glue, the Tombow glue. I think it's awesome. I'd never used it before until Stampin' Up, and it is one. I've got a little bit of time, so I can position it. Whereas if I was using what they call the Stampin' Seal, it's like a tape runner. Once it's down, it's down. It's hard to maneuver, and I just cannot for the life of me get those things working properly. So I like the liquid glue, but also the liquid glue gives me the ability to reposition it, make it repositionable, which is really cool. So you let it dry, and then it will just become kind of repositionable, or I can move it if I want to. I'm going to use, I've got some leftover or last bit of a sheet of full-size Stampin' Dimensionals. So as long as they work, I'm going to use them to use them up. I do have some mini ones here too, I guess. So instead of getting a new one, I will do that. And you'll notice I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. It's got a nice sharp edge here that makes it easy to get those off and onto my paper that I need it on. So I'm just going to put these around here. And it also makes it very easy to get them, get the papers off the edges too. So I like to use them for that. And also all of these edges around here, that's not garbage. You can use them. And that's why a lot of them are missing, because I was using them today. All right, I think everything's got adhesive. So you see, all I'm going to do is just start grabbing these, poking them, pulling them up off, like just kind of pull at an angle. And there's a whole stack of them. Get these little ones off, like that. And then these ones. Oops, he's sticking to my finger. All right. So, as I said, I'm in Eastern Ontario or Southeastern Ontario, and we have had some snow all day. The weather has been crazy, and I think across Canada and the US it's been crazy. And in fact, we had a bad accident just a couple hours ago on the major highway here called the 401. And I have actually, I can hear all of the trucks go by. The transports and cars are going by our house because we are kind of along the emergency route. It apparently was a bus that rolled over or it's on its side. So the reports were saying like a coach bus. Okay, so I've got my wreath I'm putting down. I'm going to put the little bunny here. His ears kind of overlap because we're going to want to put our thing there. He's going to have a little egg in his hands. And then this Happy Easter is just going to go right here. And they did use these glue dots for that. So I'll just show you how they go. It's showing me where to put them. So just make sure that you've got it the right way. And then it says put 2 over here. So these have, like I'm pulling them off the base, but there is a sticky paper on top that I now, once they're adhered, that just pops off quite easily. And these glue dots, where I do really like to use them is when it comes to the ribbon. Okay, so this is going to be here, just like that. And you'll see that kind of covers that base of the rabbit, so he looks like he's in behind there. And then this shows me I need my ribbon and 5 of these gems. You can put these wherever you want. You don't have to follow what they have done. In fact, I can't even see where the other ones were. So I think I'm just going to put this up in there. I like to stick with 3s. That makes things a little bit a little more pleasing to the eye. And then this bow is on his, like on his neck. So what you do is you take a glue dot and you put it on, and for something like this, the glue dot's considerably bigger than the ribbon. So you can kind of bend it a little bit. Try not to get your fingers on there and make it less sticky, but I am going to put it up there like that and stick it in. And there we go. Card number 1. Now, some of these, sometimes you get sentiments that you're like, oh, that's perfect for the inside. Sometimes you just want to do your own handwritten thing. But I put Happy Easter. I could put Hello Friend or Sweet Spring Greetings inside there for that card. That's card 1 done. Now let's pick up and do the other 2 quickly here. Show you how effective this is. Okay, so we need the green one, and we're going to need all of these lovely little punch outs, and then this. So this is going to be these 3 of these flowers, and then the green banners, which are going to be on here, and this square. The square and these 3 banners. 1, oh, 4. 4 of them. Okay, so let's pull. Find another one here. Pull another one off. Okay. And then our green pool party, kind of a pool party colored card, or a very faint green here. Okay. You can see we've got a lot of our in colors here. There's the Timid Tiger and the Strawberry Slush. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so Sweet Spring Greetings is the stamp we want here. And we're going to put it on our card base. Just clean it off here. Bring back my paper. Sometimes we don't use all of the stamps either that they give. So if you're wondering, thinking maybe you missed something, that's just the way it is. It's not necessarily. Okay, just notice there's a little bit of a, like that. It's not quite getting clear. One more trial one here. That's not too bad. Okay. My card, and it is square. Let me just double check here. It isn't square, so I want to make sure I've got it in the right orientation. And then this is going to go on here like this. If you've watched my videos before, I always say, paper is porous. You need to give it a moment to absorb into the paper, the ink. You can't just stamp and let up. It won't be as nice as if you give it a moment to do its thing there. Oh my goodness, it's stuck tight. Okay, back. These are good and sticky when you first get them, then they kind of lose some of their stick. A good way to do that if you don't have the Stamp and Mist is a little bit of, if water doesn't work, just a little bit of alcohol will help. All right, so these are going to be what we say bumped up or popped up with dimensionals. What did I do? So here, actually, I'm just going to use these edges. I just rip them. Some people will come and cut them, but yeah, I just find ripping them just as easy. And I'm just going to rip these edges and pull them off. And then I can use them up and I get just as good coverage, sometimes even more coverage, and I'm not wasting. So this is a landscape card. And it's going to go like that. And then we're just going to take these and stick these in around. So it looks like we kind of have three kind of sticking in there, or two, I guess, because we had 5 or 4 rather. And then our flowers are going to be in here as well. So again, especially for the sake of time, I'm just going to use some glue. I find that works really very efficient, and you don't need a lot. The glue works so well. You do not need a ton of it. You just need a little bit of it. Ooh. So you can see I didn't get it on the card, but it's going to be on my Glass Mat Studio. I can just wipe that off lickety split. With a dry cloth or a wet one, it's going to come off. I probably will. Well, I tend to clean that up anyways after. Okay, so I'm going to just pop that in there like that. And then, you know what? I'm going to break the rules here, and I'm going to pop these up. They do say to use the glue dots, and I could. The glue dots would give it a bit of height, but I want to really just make this look nice. I'm going to pop these right up. And again, that's the lingo for the Stampin' Dimensionals because it pops it up, makes it higher. I'm going to just peel these off this time. I find sometimes, especially with little ephemera, and that's what this basically is called, is ephemera. Little ephemera. It's easier just to pick it up and pull it off than to fight with it. So I'm going to just basically fill these in here like that. I don't want to cover up those leaves I just put in there. I'm going to rejig that thing. I'm just going to maybe stick that under a little bit. There we go. Now, some gems on here, and I might put a few more. Then, you know what, I'm just going to stick them right in the middle there. These little flowers. Just to make them really pop, and use my gems there like that. I think that's gorgeous. That's really pretty. Like that. I like the delicate little ones. So that was that. Now this last one, we're going to use the bunny, or the basket rather. We're going to use the blue card with all of these flowers. So I'm going to just match this up. Use my bone folder. Okay. Down like that. Now we have, going to use Hello Friend. We're going to use the other egg, and we're going to use the grass, because you see there's no grass here for our flowers. Then we're going to pop out the basket, the eggs, all of those lovely little flowers that we had, and then this tag here that said Hello Friend. So I can find the one I'd already, I'm going to finish popping this out. So here's our tag that we're going to put, and you can see there's a little spot here we're going to put our ribbon in. Oh man, my voice just has had its day. Okay, so that's done. I'm just going to rub those little edges down. Okay, I'm going to stick that there. I'm going to stick that there. There's my ribbon. And then I need, so there was flowers. So there's the 1, 2, 3. There's these 2 larger ones. And then we had 3 of these littler ones. So obviously those are done. And if I look on the sheet with the basket, there's the other 2. And again, these little things bother me. If you haven't figured that out yet, just a quick little rub with my fingernail, they come down. I'm going to have to get them all because they're all going to be, just makes it look that little bit unfinished. Okay, the basket comes off. Inside part comes off. That's garbage. Run my fingernail around here just to get all those little edges down. Okay, and then these eggs. And that is done. And guess where the eggs are going to go? They're going to go in the basket. Okay, so we need the grass. And we need the egg. And then we're going to do the Hello Friend. And right now I'm just kind of putting them all on my block so I can give them a clean all at once. And then we'll use them as we need them. play this again. All right. I found a lovely the video. I cannot think of the demonstrator that showed it, but it was this great video on how to do kits for Easter eggs. So I thought I would give that a try this year. Like these long tube, basically square, rectangular, I guess is the word. There, that's that cleaned up well. And then we will, so just those little Easter eggs you get at the dollar store, Shoppers, grocery store. I think they've got this 3 different times. Try not to overlap it. Extra ink off. Wash. Now, if you have multiple blocks, you could get these all set up ready to go. And then you don't have to, you could work a little bit more efficiently. Not quite at that point. I do have the extra splatter block, but guaranteed by the time I was done, my fingers would be all green. Okay, what did I do with that little thing there? There we go. That little friend. It's going to go right in here. All right. Okay, that's here. And then that Easter egg. Give it a practice. Oops, up, dip, 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 dip. Do not want to get that all in there. Okay, that's pretty good. And where did it go? Let's see if I can do this one better. I will have to pull it right up to me because I have to look down at it. So it's going to be out of your view pretty much. And my head might come in your view, but I need to. I think I did it again. We'll see. Oh, that's better. That's better than what it was before. Okay, so that's that. We are done with this now. And that, again, is the Shy Shamrock ink. Okay, so we have this, and now we need to put all of our sticky adhesive stuff on here. So this is going to be bumped up with our dimensionals. And basically, they've got a whole slew of them. I'm going to use these larger ones on the bottom, but I'm going to have to do smaller ones at the top. Oh my goodness, I can just hear those transports out there. Hey, I did hear on the news that nobody was injured, thankfully. But our poor first responder teams are going to be quite busy. I think they'll probably be busy most of the night. And they've had such a go of problems around here lately. I don't know what things have been like in your area of the world, but we have had a massive amount compared to normal of full-on fires, like fully engulfed homes and lost. We've lost souls, we've lost pets, we've just, one night we had our great nephew staying here, and there was was one of the fires that we lost individuals in, and we had pumper trucks going by all night long. Oh, it was not fun. Okay, so it looks like I'm actually going to cover up some of these flowers. So that's, I guess, why I've got some other ones to put on. And some of my grass. Let's not quite cover up all the grass. Center that on the card. This is going to actually just stick down in here. They glued that on before they put this on, and now I think I know why, because it's a nice snug fit in there. But with my glue, I'll be able to do that. Whereas if I had used those adhesives, I probably wouldn't have been happy, because once they stick, they stick. Okay, so that's going to go on there like that. And then this lovely little egg, he's going to stick in here like this. I guess he could kind of mimic that one right there. Does he have? Oh, they actually have dimensionals on him too. Good to check. So that gives a little bit of extra oomph. Oomph. Actually, height, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. There we go. And then these other flowers, some of them are just, so they had one up here. That can go on. There's one thing, but you have two things. I will use glue dot on that one, I think. Just because I need it to stick. I don't want it to move on me. So I'm going to just put that there like that. Then it has one of these kind of stuck in the back behind it. You don't, like you saw, don't have to follow the exact rules and the way they've got it. But it, it helps sometimes to see how, if you're having trouble with your creative juices not kind of flowing, you're struggling with what do I need to do for this, how should I do this, then following a design often helps. So you'll notice in our, well, one, you can go on YouTube and get all sorts of ideas from people that are doing cards. They will have all sorts of, like, just search either the type of card you want to do, like an Easter card, or the kit, the set you have, search that, and you'll come up with all sorts of ideas on what to do and how to do it. Or just follow the instructions with every kit online. Again, this is saying 10 inches, but last time 7 inches was lots. So I think I'm just gonna do this. I don't know if they had it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do 6 inches and do it the same way. So in the book, you'll see, or in the catalog, you'll see that they have examples. Do that. Open the page that you have for the item you have. So I'm going to do that, and just whatever you've got, pull out and try to do it to the best of your ability. I followed somebody today doing a project online, and basically they just said this is the items she had. So she had her card base size, and she said two different types of DSP. So I pulled that out. She was using a DSP that I didn't have, so I was just using a different DSP, and designer series paper. Again, that's what that stands for. And I did mine, and it worked just lovely. I was like, hey, I like that. Even though it wasn't what she had, it was entirely different, but it did what it did look great. Same layout is what I guess I'm trying to say, but in different papers. Okay, so I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to, I think I'm going to put a dimensional just underneath that to kind of cover that hole. And then I'm going to use a glue dot like I did before. I don't know exactly what their plan was for doing this, but this is going to be kind of how I'm doing it. All right. So that's the 3 cards for the paper pumpkin for February. For some reason that's twisted. I'm going to have to fix that after. I don't see where they used some jewels, but you know what? These flowers could have lovely centers in them and just look so pretty, just like that. And let's put, these are kind of, you can see there's different colors to them. So I've got pink, orange, green colors, but there we go. That is that card. So here's our 3 cards for the paper pumpkin. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Join me again when I'm coming on. I will try to come live. I'll post it on my Facebook page, Sissy's Cards and Crafts, when I want to go live. And then I would love for you to join me live so we can chat as we do it. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe and stay warm and dry. Bye for now.